In the first example, we have a nice rational equation, and we'll note here that the degree of the numerator is 3 and the degree of the denominator is 2. Whenever the degree of the numerator is exactly 1 bigger than the denominator, there will be a slant asymptote. So I'll write that here on the side. Degree of numerator is exactly 1 more than the denominator, slant asymptote. If there's a slant asymptote, there will not be a horizontal asymptote. We can try to find the vertical asymptote, though. That would be kind of fun. And so to find that one, what we can do here is we can try to factor the bottom. And so we can factor this one into x times x minus 4. You can also factor this top portion as well. You might recognize that from a past algebra class. What I can do, though, is I can help you factor that fairly quickly. So if you'll just give me a few seconds here, I'll type this into the calculator. And all I'm doing is just typing the numerator into the calculator here. So we've got squared plus 9x minus 4. We'll just graph that one. Notice it's only highlighted. And we'll see what we get here. I hope we'll get something. So we can try to find these guys right here and see if we can figure out what that value is, or that 0 rather. So let's actually try to find this first one here. So we'll go left of that one, left of that one, try to hit that in the center. Alright, so it's about 1, so we've got a 0, 1, so the factor would be x minus 1. And then the next one we'll see here, and we'll zoom in a little bit here, I guess, just to kind of get a picture as to what's going on. Maybe it comes back up and goes back down. Just hits it once, so I think we're going to have 2 factors there. And then we'll go zoom 6 again. And there we go. So we will calculate the other one. And I think negative, 3 would be a good left bound. And then 5 would be a good right bound. And 4 would be a good guess. And it is 4. There you go. So x minus 4 is a factor. If x is equal to 4 is a 0, then x minus 4 equal to 0 would be a factor up here. And the reason why I'm listing this twice here is that graph comes up and hits that position but doesn't go above and back down. So I think probably that's 2 of them. I'm sure if you FOIL this out, you would get right back to that numerator. However, what we want to see is a couple things. One thing is that we don't see an x in the top and the bottom. So that's where your vertical asymptote is going to be, at x is equal to 0. There is going to be a hole for this one at 4, at an x value of 4. Whatever that missing y value is, we really don't know. Notice there's an x minus 4 in the top and an x minus 4 here in the bottom. Okay, so that was just taking a look at the numerator. And what we're going to do now is we're going to try to figure out any horizontal asymptotes. Well, there isn't one. There's a slant asymptote. So we got to do a little long division here. So this is for the slant asymptote. Okay. We're going to try to do a little long division. So we've got x squared minus 4x, and if you like synthetic division, you can do that too if that suits your fancy. So let's see what we get here when we divide these guys out. We want to look at this x squared and this x to the third. We want to say, what do we need to multiply x squared by to get x to the third? And that's just x. So then we're going to multiply x times x to the third. Negative 4x times x, that's negative 4x squared. And we're going to subtract this whole thing here. So x to the third minus x to the third is 0, that's what we're hoping. And negative 6x squared minus negative 4x squared is negative 2x squared. We'll bring the next term down here, so that's a positive 9x. And the question now is, what do I need to multiply x squared by to get negative 2x squared? And that's negative 2. When you end up with a constant here, you actually don't need to go any further with this. This is the equation if we do y is equal to x minus 2, that's the equation of the slant asymptote right there. That's all you need to do. You're just looking above the ledge here when you do that polynomial long division. To try to figure out any x-intercepts, we kind of found those before. The x-intercepts will be for these values here when they're 0. When the top of the fraction or the numerator is 0, that'll produce a y value of 0. So we know that we're going to have one at 1, 0 and also at 4, 0. And that'll be for the regular graph, okay? Then the y-intercepts, those will occur here. Let's see, we're going to have negative 4 over, negative 4 over 0. So the x value is 0 for the y-intercept, so we've got 0 minus 0 plus 0, negative 4 on the top, and 0 minus 0, and then, well, 0 on the bottom. So actually that's undefined, and so we don't have any y-intercepts. Alright, let's see if we can graph this. We'll do the vertical asymptote. That's at x is equal to 0. That's this one. Right there. Alrighty, there's that, and there is that. The slant asymptote is y is equal to x minus 2. So x minus 2 would have a y-intercept of negative 2 and a slope here of 1. So we can just draw that just like this here. Remember, use a dashed line or draw it lightly. It's actually not part of the graph. It's just something to help us to draw the graph of this thing. We found before, and we're just going to verify this by graphing the other one, or the original equation here. So I've switched my graph, and we're going to graph the original one now. We think this one's going to have an x-intercept of 1, 0, and 4, 0. You'll notice it doesn't have an x-intercept at 4, 0, and here's why. There's a hole at an x value of 4, so this can't work. But 1, 0, we've got it right there. Okay, and then this value x is equal to 4 here. When we draw our graph, we're going to be very careful, and we're going to have to leave a little bit of a space there. So here's what the graph looks like. I'm going to square this up for you guys so you can see what it would look like on a squared up grid like that too. Might make a little bit more sense to you. So there's what the graph looks like. So we're going to come this direction with this side of the graph. Okay, and then here we got to watch out for this line right here. We're going to get close to the asymptote, and then right at this x is equal to 4 here, bink, hole, and then keep going this direction. And then we're also going to do the same thing. Now we go right 1 up 2 to get to this point, so left 1 down 2 is also going to be another one on the graph on the other side. And we're going to just draw that nice position right here. And there you have it. There's that wonderful rational equation with a slant asymptote and a whole graph for you.